statement, Doug.
So somebody sent me the video clip of the Saturday Night Live sketch. I thought it was the first one was the funny one. Who are you? I don't know. I don't have any kids or anybody here. To talk. That was awesome. Hmm? I don't know. I'll put that with the art. No, that age group.
Okay, it is 6:30. Jason Adams, I can't see you. Are we good? Yes. Okay, with it being 6:30, I'd like to call this meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board, I would like a motion to approve the agenda for October 13th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Board, I would like a motion to approve the continuation of the current mask guidelines for grades pre-K through 6 and mitigation protocols as presented, to be reviewed again at the regular October 21st business meeting, and to allow the superintendent to make changes to protocols as the situation dictates.
Second.
Dr. Rumpus.
Good evening, board members. Thank you for agreeing to hold this special meeting tonight. The purpose of tonight's meeting is simply to keep us in compliance with Missouri House Bill 271. As you may remember, the governor signed this into law back in June, and it requires political subdivisions to vote on any public health mandates every 30 days to keep them in place. Although there is some question as to whether or not school districts fall within the purview of the law, we are following that requirement, should the courts ever decide that we need to be in compliance with it. At our September 16th regularly scheduled board meeting, you did vote to renew the current mitigation strategies that we had in place for another month. Next Thursday is our regularly scheduled meeting, and that would be 35 days from the last board meeting. So the purpose of tonight's meeting is to ask for an approval tonight so that we are in compliance before the 30-day window that would be this Saturday. So tonight's meeting is simply procedural, as I stated, asking you to extend the guidance until next week's business meeting. Because of that, we are not providing a full presentation this evening, and we're keeping with our practice of that during special meetings we do not allow patron comments. We'll simply share a couple slides with you and ask for that motion. Next week at the regular meeting, we will have patron comments as usual. We will also at that meeting provide a full COVID update with all of our district data, looking at our current active cases and cumulative data, as well as provide information on the county data as a whole. Sorry, I'm not forwarding slides. At the meeting, we anticipate making a recommendation and asking you to vote on it at that time. I did put one slide in here to just show you our current active cases, and this was updated as of noon today. There have been a few more cases this afternoon. It's sorted by the percentage of current positive active cases based on current enrollment. So this is our student cases. So you see Westwood Trail there at the top with 4.35% because there's only 23 students enrolled here. But from that, you will see that none of our other buildings are currently higher than 1%. That is a change from last month when our high schools, several of our high schools were higher and several of our elementaries. As you know from our current dashboard, though, with the number of cases at Cosley, for example, and Becky David, it's a reminder for us that COVID is not gone. It's still here, although we do see some positive trends in the numbers, that we still do have active cases in the district. So tonight we are asking you to vote to continue with the current mask guidelines and other mitigation strategies that we have in place through next Thursday's regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting, when we will provide a full data update and make another recommendation to you. We can answer any questions you might have.
Any questions, board?
Ken, have we?
The St. Charles County Department of Public Health has offered an additional quarantine option. And in that situation, if the close contact was fully and properly masked at the time of exposure to a positive case, that person would have the ability to continue attending school or work as long as they continue to wear a mask properly throughout the rest of the quarantine window and they remain symptom-free. In addition, DESE and the Department of Health and Senior Services has recently offered another option called Test to Stay, which would allow someone who has been identified as a close contact to continue coming to school or work if they agree to an ongoing testing protocol during the length of their quarantine. We at this point are just exploring both of those options and are not prepared to make a recommendation to follow either of them. There's a lot of implications, but those are both out there at this time.
Board, any other questions, comments?
I guess I just have some follow-up. With the information next week, I guess what I would hope to see is just kind of more of a contextualized what it looks like. I know that it seems from the numbers that you put up there, and the ones that I've kind of been following, there are some buildings that really haven't experienced much of COVID, and just kind of reflecting on those numbers, and then also maybe how they reflect from last year as well. And this, what I'm about to say, is no frustration on our district whatsoever. I'm a little bit frustrated just from the health department standpoint that we're continuing to have to make these decisions. We're 18 months past when we started to really lock down and do COVID-related mandates, and so I'm just kind of stuck in a position of back and forth of protecting students. Is this a true protection when we're seeing that there's very, very limited amount of virus that's coming into the building, compared to how do we best strategize to keep students in school? And I think that that's an unfair place for the health department to put us in, but that's here where we are making decisions and health policy decisions, and I don't think it's right. So I guess for me to continue status quo, I'm gonna need things to be a little bit more contextualized on why we absolutely need to have this mask mandate in place. And that's all I'm hoping for, that maybe you can provide some of that, and maybe you can't. We're stuck with where we are. And again, no frustration with how administrations handle this. I think they've done an amazing job as far as that goes.
Anyone else, board? Okay, thank you. All right. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, board, I would like a motion to enter closed session to discuss personnel 610.021.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.